Hello and welcome to the Transform You Body Transformation Coaching Series. I am your host, Cameron Makarchuk, Master Transformation Coach. And over the next 15 minutes or so, you're going to discover 3 of the most common nutrition mistakes that I see people making every single day. And most likely you make these same mistakes without even knowing it. It's not really your fault though, because you've been lied to by sneaky marketing tactics tailored to convince you to buy certain foods. Unfortunately, these foods are sabotaging your fat loss and leaving you overweight, unhappy, and with no energy. In the next 15 minutes, you're going to see the number 1 reason why you should stop trusting nutrition labels, even the ones in the back of the box, why a healthy diet doesn't necessarily mean a fat loss diet, and it's probably not that healthy for you either, and finally, 3 of the health foods that are probably in your kitchen right now that are sabotaging your fat loss goals. But before we get into all of that, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself so that you know you can trust what I'm about to tell you. First of all, I have one of those fancy pieces of paper called a university degree, which means I studied this stuff for about 4 years and made it out the other side. After that, I worked with clients for over 8 years and continue working with clients at my private studio here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So I've done the heavy lifting and figured out what works with my clients, and now you get to benefit from my years of experience and my client success. Number 3 and 4 should really go without saying and should lend even more credibility to my work. And I actually get results with my clients. Always a good thing when you're coaching people, and you'll see some of those success stories here coming up in just a second. Now, if you're one of those crazy people who actually like to see a person's work, this is where you can find mine. Boom Body Shaping Studio is my private studio where I work with clients every single day, helping them change their bodies and transform their lives. Body Shaping Blueprint is a website where I post articles, videos, recipes, and workouts all for free that you can find and use at bodyshapingblueprint.com. And Re-Engineer You is my latest venture to help people and my new home base, so to say. This is a web show that I launched a while back where I interview some of the world's finest experts and smartest people to help you train better, eat better, and live better. So you can check that out at reengineeryou.com for all the latest episodes and videos there. Now let's get back to those results I was talking about. This is Joanne. She started with me a while back at over 300 pounds. And over the course of her first year with me, she lost over 103 pounds. Not a bad transformation. Then we can take a look at Carol, who has been a superstar since starting with me, always working hard, always giving 110%. Then we have Tony, who's lost over 63 pounds since starting with me and stronger than ever. And finally, the lovely Teresa, who managed to drop 10 pounds in her first 4 weeks and increase her strength immensely with just a few nutrition and training strategies that I helped her change. So she's heading into retirement a lot stronger and looking better than ever. And that's just a few of the amazing success stories that I've had from the thousands of people that I've worked with over the past 8 years, and nothing I do with them is wild and crazy. Just a few simple lifestyle changes that you're going to discover today through this video coaching series. And one of the first things we talk about is the sneaky marketing food corporations use on the nutrition labels. This is tricky because you'd think that if something is labeled on the box, it must be 100% true, right? Why would a company be allowed to lie to you right on the front of the box? Or the back of the box? I mean, there's regulations, right? Well, not exactly. As it turns out, as long as there is less than 0.5 grams per serving of a certain ingredient, these food companies can actually label it as 0. So now, even when you're eating 0 sugar, 0 trans fats, you're still actually consuming up to 0.5 grams per serving. And that's important. Remember the serving. So this is where it gets really even more important to look at the serving size and see how many servings of a certain food you're actually eating or drinking. A lot of times companies will make the serving sizes very small so that they can get away with putting 0 on the box, even though you end up eating 5 servings in one handful, or drinking one bottle of soda or 1 bottle of vitamin water is really 2 servings. So very, very sneaky. The other thing to consider when you see this 0 sugar, specifically with the 0 sugar specifically, or fat-free, is what are they using to sweeten this food and make it taste better if they're not using sugar? Because trust me, they're using something, especially if they've taken the time and the money to label their food or drink as 0 sugar. Typically, they'll use artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or saccharin. These might sound okay because there's no calories in them, but more and more research is coming out against the dangerous side effects such as stroke from increased consumption of these chemicals. It's also being shown that they screw up the sensors in your body and actually make you crave more sweet and sugary foods. Not so great when you're trying to change your body. So what do you do about this? First of all, ignore every claim that you see on the front of the box. There's actually no regulation on front of box health claims. Next, opt for whole foods whenever necessary. Remember, apples and broccoli don't have nutrition labels because there's one ingredient, apples and broccoli. And as a rule of thumb, what I always tell my clients is that if you have to ask, is this okay? It's probably not. So put it down, get some vegetables, nuts, seeds, or some locally raised meat. Now, what about when you think you're making all the right choices in your diet, but still not making any progress? Well, that's because what is considered to be a healthy diet isn't actually that great for fat loss. And as it turns out, probably isn't that great for your health either. So let's take a look at a couple examples. By all standards, the healthy diet on the left looks pretty good, right? I mean, it's a lot better than eating fast food or pizza all day, but it's far from ideal, especially when it comes to fat loss. At first glance, it looks okay, but when we take a little bit of a closer look at what the macronutrients would be, that diet looks like it would be about a moderate to high carbohydrate, low fat, and low protein. Definitely not ideal for fat loss. That's actually the opposite of what we want to see in a fat loss diet. Research continues to prove that high carb diets are not good for fat loss, and that moderate to high protein diets with moderate fat work absolute wonders at fixing broken metabolism issues and helping to strip away fat. Now let's take a look at what the fat loss diet side would look like on the other side. We see it looks quite a bit different, doesn't it? So this one looks like you're getting some protein with every meal, lots of vegetables, and plenty of heart healthy fats. This is key. This is the ideal day on a fat loss nutrition plan. Plenty of food, but it comes from the right sources. So let's take a closer look at the differences of the two sides. So the healthy side has calorically dense whole grains, which are still actually refined grains. They're just dressed up in a flashier outfit. And on the fat loss side, you're getting your carbohydrates from nutrient-dense sources like fruits and vegetables. Imagine that, nutrient-dense sources. As I said earlier, the healthy side is looking at about 60% carbohydrates, which is pretty high, whereas the fat loss side focuses more on high-quality meats, good fats, and keeps the starchy carbohydrates limited until you get down to a better body fat percentage. And when I say that, this would mean for men at around 15% or lower, and for women this would be about 25% or lower. So that's when you can start adding in some starchier carbohydrates like rice, quinoa, squash, yams, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, things like that, but not until we get to that point. Shift your focus from whole grains to high quality meat, plenty of fish, lots of vegetables, a little bit of fruit, and some good heart healthy fats. Your waistline will thank you. All right, let's get into the good stuff, the main event, if you will. Let's take a look at some of the foods that are probably in your kitchen right now that claim to be healthy but are actually sabotaging your fat loss results. You might even be eating one of these right now as you're watching this video. So the first health food that is sabotaging your fat loss is yogurt. That's right, yogurt is not your friend when it comes to fat loss. Regular yogurt is typically filled with sugar and additives like artificial sweeteners, high fructose corn syrup, and other things like that. They're also typically very low in protein. Double fail. But what about the probiotics, you say? Yeah, probiotics are awesome, and you should be getting some probiotics from somewhere to help with your digestive health, except when you find it in your typical yogurt. The benefits of them are actually negated because of the high sugar content. Not to mention that a recent study tested a bunch of these probiotic yogurts and actually found out that only about 13% of these yogurts actually had the labeled amount of probiotics in them. Yet another nutrition label lie. What a shocker. So instead of regular yogurt, switch it up and go with a plain, fat-free Greek yogurt. Plain is the key. Greek yogurt is awesome because it's way high in protein and way high in sugar due to the way it's made. Double win. Now, it's a little bit tart in taste, especially the plain stuff, but go ahead and add some berries to it. So I prefer frozen blueberries and sprinkle some cinnamon on it. If you want to really supercharge it, what I do with my Greek yogurt is I add a couple scoops of either a vanilla or a chocolate protein powder, and it literally tastes like soft ice cream. And so for the probiotics, all you need to do is just find a high quality, dairy-free, gluten-free probiotic supplement, and you got your bases covered there. Next up on the hit list, vegetable oils. This includes oils like canola oil, safflower oil, soybean, and sunflower oil. The reason these oils are on the list is because they're primarily made from genetically modified plants or GMO plants or GMO grains, which have been shown to destroy gut flora. Not cool. So that's one strike. Also, due to the high processing of these oils, it actually strips away all the good fat that are actually in those plants and instead leaves the oil containing up to 4.6% trans fats, which doesn't even have to have this on the label. So this is another nutrition label lie. Strike 2. And finally, these oils are filled with free radicals, which have the opposite effect of antioxidants. Where antioxidants help to slow the aging process and keep you looking young forever, free radicals have the opposite effect and actually speed up the aging process. And nobody wants to get older faster. Strike 3. So 3 strikes, vegetable oils are out. So what we can do is we can replace these oils in your house with better oils like coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, and grass-fed butter. And finally, fish. But not just any fish, farmed fish, okay? So farmed fish contains up to 3 times less omega-3 fatty acids, which is actually one of the biggest health benefits of eating fish. Also, these fish are typically shot up with antibiotics and pesticides, and in some parts of the world, they're even fed with pieces of pigs, geese, and even feces. So definitely make sure to check your labels and find out where your fish comes from. If at all possible, get it from a local source, because sometimes even though it says wild on the label, that doesn't necessarily mean it's wild caught. So that's yet another nutrition label lie. So make sure to check where your fish is caught and make sure it actually is wild caught fish. Also go with a smaller fish like salmon, sole, or tilapia. These smaller fish typically have less mercury than the bigger fish like tuna or mackerel. Now, I want to thank you for taking part in this first coaching video, and I hope you got a lot out of it. I've got 2 more videos lined up for you that you'll see coming in your email inbox over the next few days. So make sure you've entered your email address somewhere on this page or at reengineeryou.com/coaching so you don't miss that video, because we're going to be touching on the top 3 workout myths that are keeping you fat. But now before I let you go, I want to let you know about something pretty big that could have a massive effect on your body transformation. So I'm opening up 15 spots in my Transform You Premium Body Transformation Coaching Program, where you'll get hands-on coaching directly from me, helping you every step of the way. This is a premium level coaching program, and it's not going to be a good fit for everyone, but if you'd like, I'm doing some free strategy calls with anyone that applies after these videos, and I'd love to hear from you. Just click on the big red button below here that says I'm ready, somewhere on this page right below this video, and you'll be taken to a page where you can read more about the coaching program along with a link to apply for your free strategy call. Now, I understand maybe you're not ready for that coaching program quite yet, and that's okay. Everyone has their time and works through their process. And that's okay, because we still have a lot of stuff to go over in this free video coaching series. So just sit tight, and you'll still get a lot of benefits from the videos that I have coming up for you. So until then, I want you to do me a favor. Leave a comment below this video with any other nutrition label lies that you wish would stop, what health food that you think people should probably stay away from. And then after you leave a comment, click the big like, tweet, or +1 button and share this video with your friends so that they can learn the truth also, because we got to get this information out there. And remember, to get the most out of your life, you need to train right, eat well, and live awesome. I'll see you on the other side.